I'm Matthew Phelps, co-author of the Turning to God's Word Bible study, The Letter to the Hebrews, an explanation of the mechanism of our salvation. Today we'll be talking about Lesson 14, which covers the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 11, verses 13 to 22. These all died in faith, not having received what was promised, but having seen it and greeted it from afar, and having acknowledged that they were strangers and exiles on the earth. For people who speak thus make it clear that they are seeking a homeland. If they had been thinking of that land from which they had gone out, they would have had opportunity to return. But as it is, they desire a better country, that is, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared for them a city. We're in the midst now, in this study, of a series of lessons where we talk through the letter to the Hebrews chapter 11, which builds the positive case, the reasons for following God, and the go team side that is faith. Faith is the thing that allows us to do this, and we're looking at the team for which we're playing, some of the all-stars throughout all of the past, the people we can imitate and model our lives after when we begin to think, maybe this is too hard. We left off last time talking about Abraham and Sarah, and we pick up here now saying, hey, they were great, but they died. And I thought that that was not what this faith thing did. For us, it's not. The key point of this whole chapter is all of these people did all of these great things, and what we have available is better. So why wouldn't we? Maybe I can't be Abraham, but I don't have to be better, to receive more, because more has been given since Jesus Christ came. So, faith, awesome. And also the point is, all of these people, the author of the letter to the Hebrews suggests, had some glimmer of what was coming, they could see it from far off, they could see where they were going. They knew the value of the things that they were doing, even though they themselves also had some idea that they would never receive the fullness of what was being promised, at least not in this life. And we can, so how much more when it's not so very far off? Abraham gets credit because he symbolically actually left where he was and journeyed to a faraway, unknown land, the promised land by God. The same is true of us on earth, being promised heaven and having to set out toward this as yet unknown land and trust of God. But he just got the land of milk and honey. We get eternal salvation. So how much more should we imitate that faith of Abraham? What we have is better. By faith, Abraham, when he was tested, offered up Isaac, and he who had received the promises was ready to offer up his only begotten son, of whom it was said, "Through Isaac shall your descendants be named." He considered that God was able to raise men even from the dead. Hence he did receive him back, and this was a symbol. This is my favorite interpretation of the story of Isaac and Abraham's motivation. In the Old Testament, you don't hear why he does it. He just trusts God. God says, go kill your son, offer him as a sacrifice. Abraham says, okay, God. And says, here, Isaac, carry this wood. We're going up to the top of a mountain. It'll be fun. And they go. And Abraham is willing to do what was asked. The author of the letter to the Hebrews is able to tell us how much and in what way that was an act of faith, saying, Abraham didn't mind because he said, you told me through this son, all of these people are going to come about. If I kill him, that can't happen. This will be fine. Let's go, God. Even if I kill him, it will somehow be fine. Suggesting his trust for God was absolute, which is really cool. By faith, Isaac invoked future blessings on Jacob and Esau. By faith, Jacob, when dying, blessed each of the sons of Joseph, bowing in worship over the head of his staff. By faith, Joseph, at the end of his life, made mention of the exodus of the Israelites and gave directions concerning his burial. Here the author kind of glosses over the rest of the patriarchs. Yeah, Jacob did some stuff, and yeah, his son Joseph did some stuff, and some of his other sons, and yeah, remember that Joseph guy? He talked to the people as well. You can't leave the patriarchs off of the list here, and it is very important to note from the author's point of view, they all acted as they did as patriarchs, as servants of God, as a result of their faith. But other than that, he doesn't seem to see a lot of need to mention all of the many things that they did, in part because his audience would know, and he has no interest in really reinterpreting their stories as much as he did with Abraham, but certainly important to keep on the list Isaac and Jacob and his sons, who also followed God by modeling the faith of their father Abraham. This has been a summary of Lesson 14 of the Turning to God's Word Bible Study, the letter to the Hebrews, an explanation of the mechanism of our salvation. For more information, consult our written study or visit our online forums at turningtogodsword.com.